So while it's good that those people have that choice, we need to also then live in a society where the sons and daughters of doctors and lawyers and carpenters and plumbers can choose to be farmers. And right now, we're at a transition, at a crossroads, where historically, how you learn to be a farmer has been passed along intergenerationally within families. And we're at a point where that mechanism no longer is taking place. FFA, Future Farmers of America, doesn't stand for Future Farmers of America anymore. It's just FFA. And so because of things like that, I'm not saying that's bad, I'm just saying it is. And so because of things like that, we need to have and develop, and we are having and develop and are developing new mechanisms for the way that people can become producers of food if they didn't grow up producing food. So that if a student decides that they could go to their guidance counselor and say, I'd be interested in being a farmer, how does that work? How does that happen? What are the avenues or the mechanisms that would allow me to do that? And I think that that's going to be a necessary thing going forward. And the Farm Bill isn't the answer to that question, but certainly there are many Farm Bill programs that have in the past and can in the future continue to support the transition to having the opportunity for new and beginning growers to make up a sizable component of our food producing community. So I'm going to give a little bit of background on what some of those grants have been that have been successful in helping us in the state of Michigan have the only organic farmer training program that's this 9-month intensive training program where we're training people in year-round production of local food. And that program was originally able to be developed at Michigan State through a larger grant that we got as part of the Organic Agricultural Research and Education program that's within the USDA that funded both the creation of our curriculum. So this is in 2006. We recognized this need. We applied for a grant from the USDA, and through that grant line, we were able to get some money to help develop the curriculum to start the Organic Farmer Training Program. That was also hand in hand with money that went around organic soils, research and education, and organic tomato and cucumber production in Southeast Michigan, or Southwest Michigan, particularly looking at, kind of specialty crop production. So all the stuff that we do at the student farm is generally speaking specialty crop production, so flowers, herbs, fruits and vegetables, but we do some livestock stuff as well. So that's a grant that has impacted us positively in the state that is funded through this funding line. And was really useful and instrumental in our ability at Michigan State to create this organic farmer training program. I just came back from a conference in Kentucky of the Sustainable Ag Education Association, and we are for sure one of the shining models of organic farmer training in the country. People ask, how do I get to know more about your program? And it's not like because I'm not trying to, I am tooting our own horn, but I'm not tuning my horn. I'm saying that we're just the right circumstances and the right people and the right things came together at the right time to allow us to develop that, and I think that it's really fortunate that that grant funding came through in 2006 when it did to help catalyze that change. Related to that, one of the efforts that we've been working on here locally is partnering. The Student Organic Farm has been partnering with the Food System Economic Partnership, along with some other local collaborators to create the Chilean Farm Development Center, which is going to be an incubator farm and residency farm aimed at trying to help transition people who are graduates from my program or other similarly qualified folks to implement their farm plans. Because not only do you need access to training, you need access to capital, you need access to markets, you need access to land and equipment, both of which are really difficult. So if as you're starting up your new farm business, you can have access to those things through the use of an incubator farm, it can allow you to build the necessary capital inside your startup business to then move off onto other lands that might be preserved through the Ann Arbor Greenbelt or through the Ann Arbor Township's Small Farms Initiative or things of that nature. And I think Steve Olds, who's going to talk later, will talk more about the specifics of those kinds of programs that are at work in our community. So that project, the Chilean Farm Development Center, has been either the direct beneficiary of or an applicant for several different grants from the USDA that we may not have received all of them, but the process of applying for them in and of itself was catalytic in terms of moving ideas forward. And in addition to that, we're hopeful that some of them are still in the hopper. We're hopeful that we might get them, and some of them we might be lucky enough to get in the future. So those ones are the the Beginning Farmer Rancher Grant. So there's actually a whole line. That's one of the ones that isn't funded currently in 2012, but has been giving funds to programs around the country, including one in northern Michigan, to help beginning and new farmers access some of those needs that I said. And they're a very diverse set of programs, but it's amazing that it's in the bill. It helps identify the need to help beginning and new farmers get started. And that funding is at risk immediately, and in addition to in the future iterations of the Farm Bill. And so it's important to support that work. In addition to that, there's other funding lines. The Rural Business Opportunity, RBOG grant, is one that has been applied for to help supply infrastructure and needed equipment at the Chilean Farm Development Center. And there's some infrastructure and processes that have been going on there to initiate that were the initial capital that kind of helped get the project rolling, that are also part of a Conservation Innovation Grant, also through NRCS. So there's been a bunch of different grants that have been part of the USDA and part of the Farm Bill that have helped in their own different ways catalyze some of this development that's helping Southeast Michigan move forward with getting new farmers growing food on the land, and those businesses producing food that can be used by other processors, by retailers, consumed in farmers markets, purchased with SNAP dollars. So there's a variety of all those impacts that are really important. I think that the only other thing that I'll add is, wearing kind of the organic hat, because the training that we do is in organic and ecological agriculture. There are also separate set-asides for the cost share that are part of the Farm Bill for certification for organic farmers. So when a lot of growers talk about, well, how do I pay for my certification costs? The USDA has been providing a cost share that helps farmers so that doesn't become an impediment to their ability to grow and sell certified organic food. And then inside of a bunch of the NRCS programs that Steve was going to talk about, there are set-asides in those programs specifically targeting new and beginning farmers, because the USDA has traditionally recognized that is an audience that requires special consideration, as well as within some of the funding for the Farm Service Agency. So there are some programs out there that are really useful for beginning farmers and have been useful in our community and can continue to be useful in helping us achieve this vision of an integrated local food system. And so I just hope that that's useful context and information, and maybe hopefully compelling in terms of your interest in seeing some of those programs continue and to see the continued development of new farmers. And we have at the FSET, or at the Local Food Summit last year, they highlighted, probably 10 new growers in our community that have been, growing food, and in some ways have been beneficiaries of a lot of this knowledge and information that's being generated. Whether it's hoop house production and the research and stuff that's gone on with that at the student farm, or business counseling and innovation through other work that's happened, there's been a lot of support that's been helpful in creating opportunities for these new farmers. So that's what I got. Thank you.